Hello and welcome to the Dutch Inn channel. It's Tuesday evening, the 30th of April 2024, and it's nearly 20 to 10. And this is coming to the end of our month, which has been a roller coaster. And the best day was today, a profit of £254.48 went into our bank account, and it made it look a lot better than it had been for the whole month. It started so badly and it's ended on a high. So we'll see what May brings from tomorrow. But the first thing we're going to look at is our results today from Brighton, Catterick and Yarmouth. So they were the three meetings. We didn't cover punches down because at the time I'd done the form for Nottingham, which subsequently got abandoned. So I hope all of you had some winners at punches down. So we're going to look at the end of our sheet. This is for the people that was in it from the 1st of April, and it was a serious roller coaster. There was a lot of profitable days, but a lot weren't that great. Now, I haven't put a banner on the bottom because I think it might go up just a little bit too high to see these figures. So at the end of the month, I'd like every month to return somewhere in the region of 60 points if I can. Now, this has only been 10 points this month, but I'm still happy with that because it was looking so bad at one point that I think it could have actually got worse. But it didn't. I changed, I don't know if you remember, halfway through the month, I kept changing things round because I knew I had to do something. So what I ended up doing there, I doing the value bets, the lay bets, a different system totally. But when I changed the system, because I've always run two throughout, and I've had them for nearly 40 years. Even when I was at school doing bets with my dad, I used to try and work out some kind of system. I was good at maths in the day, and I thought to myself, I've got to try something on the horses. And like everything else, in the early 70s, my dad used to give me £1 a week, and I did a bet in Mecca in the day. It was called a Sweet 16, and that's what it was, 16 bets. And I used to do a 5p one that come to 80 pence, and you used to have to pay the tax in those days. So that was 88 pence, and I remember getting a half decent one up of £233.65. I'll always remember it. But of course, you try getting that up in sort of mid-70s, sort of Queen's Jubilee sort of year, and thinking to yourself, you're only around 10 years old, and you've had £233 in them days to me was like £1,000,000, but I don't know what it was worth. Maybe 50 times. I really don't know, but it was a substantial amount of money. I mean, my dad wasn't on anywhere near that in a week. I think that might have even been about 4 or 5 weeks of his money in the day. So anyway, let's get back to this. So we managed to get 10 points profit, but I was annoyed with myself on some days because there was days where I'd had 3 winners in a row at the start, and I should have really pressed the cash out button and withdrew the money. Someone asked me about that today, and he sort of lodged it in my head again, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that he's right. Ian was his name, and I do think that's the way forward, rather than betting on all the 20-something races I come up with. Don't get me wrong, I've still got to do the form for those 20-odd races in case we don't get a good start. And we have to go right the way through. But as I say, for the stakes that I do, £504.12 profit at the end of the month. Don't get me wrong, we know it isn't a livable amount of money, but it was something that I had visions of maybe going that behind or putting a 1 in front of it. It was that bad at one point. But with the people that have been in the subscription from the 1st of April, at least at the end of it, they've seen some profit, and we can build on that, which we definitely will start doing tomorrow. I don't anticipate starting like we did last month. In 2 days, we were like 400 and I think it was 480, £490 down. So you might say 500 in 2 days. So we'll go on from that anyway. So that is how that looks. Now let's move on to the end where I do the sheet. And it was good. I can't knock it. I most probably could have cashed out earlier. I was up about, I think it was 344. But of course, if you knew that was going to be the top, you would have cashed out. But you carry on thinking maybe, so that's what I did. So at Yarmouth, we staked £250 there in the 5 races, and we made a profit of £48.69. Then the other afternoon meeting, and I did like it today because you're getting one off every 15 minutes. It gives you time to do anything you want instead of backing at 6 meetings and you're finding that they're off every 5 minutes and you can't keep a track of it or you can't watch it properly. So yeah, then we went to Brighton, and Brighton was good. That made £195.60. That was the profit there. And Catterick this evening, which I liked as well because of the time gaps, but we only made a tenner there. But over the period of the day, to be up £254.48 was most probably our best day of the month. I'm not going to go back and look through it now. So that was that. And now we're going to go back over the races for today. Now, I've sort of put them in colour code at the bottom here because that's why I've taken the banner away. The blue is just the meetings. The black is for Nottingham, where I've done the form and then that went out the window. Then the red ones are obvious, that's your losers. The green ones are your winners. And the different colour orange means, the dark orange means that you got more than your stake back, and this colour, the lighter orange means that you made a loss on what you staked. So we're going to start with Yarmouth and the 210. Big outsider in the first, 34 this returned. And we had the favourite in second, but that would have been a waste of time. But that was our first winner. I don't want to spend too much time on these, so I will go through them quite quickly. In the 240, we didn't have the winner here. But as you'll see, with all the losers that I've had today, and there's only been 4 of them, we've had the second in every race. Now, we go back over the last 2 days previous. I don't know if you remember seeing the videos for those, but over the last 2 days, we've had 20 winners from 40 races, and 17 of those were second. Out of the 20 losers that we had, 17 seconds. So this is how pretty much you can be lucky or unlucky on this system. And as you can see, East India Dot that we had there, that came second, was beaten a neck. So we were unlucky in that race. Then we moved on to the 425 at Yarmouth. They did tip that on Sky actually when I was watching it. Great basket, but not for me that one. But we did have double time that was running on again. After it looked beat, it came back again. That only just got beaten next, so that was another unlucky one. Then in the 5 o'clock, the favourite came through here, was never going to get touched off. But it wasn't our top selection, but it was nearly £100 back. It wasn't a bad return on that one. And then the last race at Yarmouth, this was the bet of the day, not for me, but Born a Rebel last night was 28. And they backed that all the way down, right to the off. The trainer said he didn't know anything about it, never had a penny on it, and couldn't stop smiling and laughing, you know. So Born a Rebel was the winner there that we had. As I say, then the next meeting at Nottingham was abandoned. Then we went into Brighton. I've always been lucky at Brighton, I don't know why. And the first winner we had there was in the 225. This was Twilight Dancer, our second selection, that one at 7. Then in the second race, the 335, Cloudy Rose was our top selection, that one at 9.11. Then in the 410, our top selection was the African Queen, and that one at 7.82. Then in the 445, now there was someone who did message me who said that I didn't have the 445 winner, but all you got to do is look there and see. I did have the 445 winner. All right, L for leather. You can see the stakes down there. You know how to do Dutching very well, better than me, I think. So you would have known there that I should have and did have it. So that was the 445. Then into the 520. This was another, well, we had a big winner here. This was 55.1. I didn't have it. This was my bottom selection. But Arlo's Sunshine, I thought was going to get there, got beat half a length in the end. So that was the third of my 4 losers. And in the last race at Brighton, the 555, Voodoo Ray, another top selection, 7.79. So I had a really good day there. Then we kicked off with the Catterick card. This was the evening meeting there. And we started off with Variety Island. That was a winner for us. That was 8.8. Then into the 620, our top selection again. We've had a few of them today, and that is Nay. So that was another one. That was 2 in a row at Catterick, and we thought, go on. But then we came into the 655. Now I don't know if I remember telling you, but I'm not going to be back in these odds-on ones again, and I'm just keeping it up here to show you that again this was beaten. Alright, it's not worth going down that road. At the moment, there's definitely more getting beat than there is win. So it's just another one. I should have deleted it really. But you've got to make sure that the races you bet in have all got 3 lines of form. Alright, if they've got less than that, then don't back in it. And you shouldn't really, when you're getting 3 lines of form and they're all handicaps, you shouldn't really be getting an odds-on favourite anyway. Right? This is why it's called a handicap. And you can see how many ratings there. I make that off a 73, then a 72 and a 71. So it's not like it's 20 points clear and you think this is a certainty. It was far from that. And then we moved into the 725. This was the bottom one. Look, I backed every horse for 50 quid there, near enough. Until I got down to the bottom one, I just couldn't have any more on it. And then that goes and wins. So, your luck's out now and again. And the second, I got beat 11 3/4, and my top selection here, Red Rose Zorro, went off at 133. And that would have been one of my biggest winners. I did have 125 to 1 shot once, but I can't remember what that paid on Betfair now. But 133 on Betfair was my top selection, got beat 11 3/4. So that was an unlucky one. Then coming to the last race, I don't know why I didn't cash out a few races back, but you just don't know what's going to happen, that's the thing. And even in this race, we just crept in with Hijacked, but a disappointing amount to come back. So it was quite easy, if I knew this one was going to be odds on a long time before that, and I didn't bother looking into the race. I looked at that, then we had a short price favourite here, I know it got turned over. Highfield Viking, maybe I could have looked at that and thought, why don't I just call it quits for the evening and have an early night, but I didn't, I carried on. So that's how we done today. It was a good win, but remember 2 days are never the same, but we just hope they will be. So that's everything there. I'm going to put up the selections for tomorrow. I'll most probably have time tomorrow as well to do the exchange prices in the morning, and I might try and post a couple of videos up there because people have been asking me for tutorial stuff, and how do you get to your figures and all that, and I don't have no problem in showing everybody. So I'll most probably try and put a couple of them up tomorrow or something, and we'll see how we go. But I still haven't got round to doing any Punchestown. I do want to leave this as just flat racing. It's so easy to do the totals. I know I most probably would have had a few winners today at Punchestown, but it's just something I prefer to do on the flat, this system. So that's it for tonight. I hope you've all had a reasonable punting day as well, and we'll see how we get on tomorrow. As I say, I'm going to put that up very, very shortly. So we'll catch up in the morning. Thanks for watching.